Alright folks, welcome back to actually not welcome back, but here's the new Let's Play of the Kaiserreich. It's a Hearts of Iron 2 mod, and it's a very enjoyable mod. It's a World War One, actually a post-World War One mod, in which shows Germany actually defeating the Allied. What I'm doing right now is I'm setting up a plan, pretty much. There are 3 different countries I actually want to play against, and actually there's quite a more to it than just those 3 countries, but I like these 3 countries, at least in this mod. I have 3 choices of Russia, Canada, and the United States, and these are the 3 countries I'm interested in playing, if that's okay with you guys, who are very demanding, I can tell by the comments and all that other stuff. Especially the comments about post more EU3 videos than Hearts of Iron 2 videos. But, you know, this is me, so I'm just gonna do some of the things I want to do, so sorry guys. So here's Russia. So here's the background of Russia right here as well. And at the Congress of Omsk, I know I didn't pronounce that right, in April 1919, the white generals agreed to form a united political front behind Alexander Kerensky and the remaining forces of the provisional government. The united white force, joined by the Republic of Finland, made considerable gains, but the Red Army was still too strong and well placed, dominating the Russian industrial heartland and transportation networks. But soon, the German Empire, fearing the success of the dangerous ideology, decided to intervene on behalf of the whites in exchange for the recognition of the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. By September 1921, both Moscow and St. Petersburg fell to the white forces, and the new Russian Republic was established in the old imperial capital of St. Petersburg. For the past 15 years, the leading parties, the Social Revolutionaries and the Cadets, have governed in an uneasy coalition under Kerensky, maintaining their power through electoral manipulation and the lack of serious political opposition. But Russia is becoming increasingly unstable, and other political forces are growing. And considering that it is now time for change. So the country may now assert its power in the world. Alright, so pretty much the Russians the White Russians regained Russia after defeating the Red Army with the help of the Germans. I would agree to a large extent that the Germans would have done something like that. I believe they actually attempted to do that, if I remember correctly, that they did intervene on behalf of the whites, but because they had to pull out because they were defeated, or getting defeated in the First World War. But I think, if I remember correctly, they were pretty much sided with another faction. So I'm not too, like, you know, in depth with the Russian Civil War, but I do believe that I know they intervened. So there's that part. And here's Canada. Canada saw a quick economic rise through the combined impacts of the Transcontinental Railroad, completed in 1885, shipping industries, and settling in the West. The domination supported Great Britain during the Boer War and the Whale Creek. But during her remote location, she was unable to avoid the serious penalties in the resulting peace, and Canada seemed to continue as she always had. However, when the collapse of the royal and parliamentary authority in Britain in 1925 resulted in the royal family and the central government of Britain fleeing to the country, Canada has been set down a different path. Slow industrialization, funded by the old families of Britain, and maintained of trade links to the U.S. have allowed to avoid some of the economic decline seen in the other nations outside of German influence. There is some dissent growing among the Canadian population about the presence of the British exiles, increasing political dominance, and the fixation of Canada bending towards being the means toward their aim of quote-unquote liberating Britain. The spread of this sentiment has, however, been slowed by propaganda against the left and encouraging a strong and restored Commonwealth, seen as the means of returning to the economic and political securities of the 19th century. The political situation with regards to the newly created Union of Britain remained tense over the next decade, but neither side was prepared or able to escalate the matters into open warfare. By 1936, however, Canada's navy continues to grow in rapid strength, and some among the Royals faction are beginning to suggest that the time has come for direct measures to retake the home islands. With the possibility of this being a feasible goal growing with each day, war seems inevitable. So Canada is pretty much the exiled government of Britain. The royal family is there, the parliamentary is there, alongside with Canada's government. So in a way, it's kind of like coalition of Canada's government that's in original form of 1936, but also this part with the royal family combined. So Canada is kind of an interesting predicament here. They not only lead the Entente, if I can, get my words straight now, but they lead the Entente with the nationalist France and other factions, Australia-Asia, and I think, let me check, one of the Indian factions. Yeah, one of the Indian factions. I don't remember what they were. Sorry. But yeah. And so either they continue to lead the alliance alongside with nationalist France and and everybody else in the Entente to take out the syndicalists, or go their separate ways and actually just focus on their, I guess they're pretty much the rivals of the Union of Britain, to retake Britain and restore the dominance of the British Commonwealth. Alright, here's the United States. Throughout the 19th century, the USA has remained of limited importance to the great powers, despite her powerful position in the Americas, an attitude that was reinforced America's political policy of isolationism and adherence to the Monroe Doctrine. The staunch isolationist position of the country was almost changed in the early 20th century thanks to the outbreak of the Weltkrieg. Due to the German belligerence, particularly with regards to the unrestricted U-boat campaign against Britain, which had affected for pushing the U.S. towards the Entente powers. However, for mid-1915, after the sinking of the Lusitania by the German U-boat, Germany chooses to change this policy in an attempt of reconciliation. The move succeeded, and the USA remained out of the Weltkrieg as a combatant. Unfortunately for the United States, German victory in the war and the near consequent revolution in France led to an over-reliance on Britain for trade, which collapsed when the Home Isles descended into chaos of their own revolution. In the decades since these events, the USA has struggled economically as Germany extended her domination around the world and sought to protect and expand her own economic power. The nation struggled diplomatically too, as the president after president chose to maintain isolationist policy. And this led to USA being regarded as a nobody in international politics, making it harder for her to gain a foothold in the foreign markets. On top of the troubles in the regime now faces a mounting internal dissent and political polarization in parts of the country. With 1936 presidential elections drawing near even closer, the established Republican-Democratic domination is now being challenged by two groups: the combined Syndicates of America and the America First Union. With the mounting crisis at the home and complete lack of prestige overseas, things are not looking good for the United States of America. So with that, folks, those are the three choices that I would like to have. Or actually, I will do. And what I want you guys to do is vote on which other three I should do first. Because this is a modded version of Hearts of Iron 2, and a very well modded version, I would say, compared to the previous ones, I would say. And I would just, like to see if you guys would choose one of the three. Either the United States, Canada, or Russia. Then again, considering I don't have the amount of subscribers and comments from you guys, I might just, toss it up in the air and maybe, play some tic-tac-toe over the three. Who knows? But one of those three will be done. And I know most of you guys don't like Hearts of Iron 2. And I've seen it in the comments and all that. But this is something that I actually want to do. And yeah, so there you go. Russia, Canada, or the United States are the three choices. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So thanks you guys for watching, and have a great day.